So it's time for another tier list video, and this one is actually pretty unique. I'm doing this one with Sanchez. So before anything, I will lay some ground rules. Obviously, this is based on our opinions. We have tested these characters. This is how we feel about them. If you have any comments or you think they weren't ranked fairly, you can put it down in the comments respectfully. All right, I'll pass it on to Sancheezy.
Hey, what's up, everyone? So happy to be here. Obviously, super appreciative to the homie Subi for allowing me to come in here, give my input. As he mentioned, we're super excited. It's been a while since we've had an update, and of course, Subi's been the guy creating this stuff for so long. So really awesome. We got an update on characters here. We're going to try to go through some that we think are the best, just cover stuff at a super high level. Obviously, we can't get through every single character since a new one comes out every 2 weeks, but we'll do what we can. And hopefully, if you like this, leave some comments, obviously, in the sec below, and we'll keep bringing you some new videos. Go for it, my man.
All right, let's get started. So we're gonna start with our favorite character, Old World Boros. So what do you think about this character? Personally, I think should go in overall best for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, I mean for boss for PVE, I mean it's just ridiculous. And now of course with the gear improvements and the gear enhancements, I mean he is just in a class of his own, right? And you're seeing that across the board, which is, I mean, so many people are able to kill the boss now, and in many ways, gears kind of like made the battle will a lot more obsolete, which I think has been a trend with them, right? Which is kind of killing off an old system. So Old World Boros, I mean, you need him. I mean, it's a great way to add tons of benefit to your team. I mean, he basically is the one you kind of just have to get. Outside of everyone else, I think is kind of optional and situational. I would think.
Right. Oh, hey, so of course, overall best for him. Obviously, you do need him plus 10 and some copies. That's obviously needed with these old world characters. So, of course, overall best goes to him. And next, we have Old World Fubiki. So, personally, I really didn't use this character all that much, but I do loan her sometimes. I find her really helpful, but there's nothing really that stands out for her for me. So, what do you have to say about this character?
I mean, I don't have her on the Sancheezy account. I obviously have a few accounts, and I like her a lot. Obviously, she is someone who can really do some damage in PvP. Has to be set up the right way. But yeah, I would say she probably ranks, as you're saying, more in the mid tier, maybe even low to mid tier. Super situational. When she's very high powered, just like any character, she can do some awesome things, and I've seen some really cool stuff with her. But if it's one that if you're making a choice between working on characters, I would definitely say put her a lot more at the bottom of your list if you can, right?
Yeah.
Just overall, she's not really, I mean, of course, if you're going for top tier, you need every character, at that point in time. But again, as a for most people, I'd say you're probably gonna just pass on her for now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I really only loan her for type trials, and I'm pretty much done those. So to be honest, I feel like she's not really a priority. So where should we put her? How about PvP? Yeah, that sounds fair to me.
Yeah, probably PvP heavy. I would say so. Obviously, like each old world character can situationally like change a whole match, but yeah, with her, I guess PvP heavy sounds about right, or maybe even decent or something, or situational, right? Just because she is pretty unique, but yeah, I'm cool with any of those.
Right. Okay, so next character, Old World Deep Sea King. So, I personally don't feel like you need him. Like, he is really useful, he's pretty tanky, but he's not really there to deal damage, just to tank some attacks. And I don't feel like there's few tanks in this game. There's a lot of tanks, and you definitely can't go wrong with him, but he is an old world character, harder to work on, so I personally wouldn't give him overall best. Maybe tank, that seems the most obvious.
Yeah, I think he's probably the weakest of all of the old world characters. I've seen him do some cool stuff. I personally don't have him, and I would not. I'd put him so low on my priority list, right? So yeah, I think he's all right, but definitely one as well that at this point, unless they tweak something, which they're known to do, I'd probably pass on him for now as well. I mean, I'd probably just put him as, same thing. Yeah, either tank
Yeah.
or maybe more situational or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Honestly, I want to give him situational because I feel like top tier tanks should be a little easier to work on. And if you compare him to Boros, like that's a way better character, Old World Boros. So I'm gonna give him
Absolutely,
situational.
right, absolutely. And we start talking top tier tanks. I mean, we're about to get into one here, which is going to be
Oh
your
man.
next character
Okay.
coming. So that's where it's just so different leagues, right? So yeah, like you said, probably pretty situational or maybe just decent. I mean, like, again, old world almost needs their own like classification in and of itself, but yeah, he definitely is not a top tier tank.
Yeah, these characters are much more harder to work on. Okay, so next we have Old World Watchdog. Man, I personally really like this character. I like his sleeping abilities, just his abilities and normal attacks in general. They're pretty unique to other characters, and they do tank a lot of damage. So honestly, in my opinion, he's really good. He can tank a lot of damage and also do a lot of damage. So for me, he's a really good character.
Yeah, he is definitely top tier. I mean, he is obviously since they changed the flashy flash update, that's dropped his power a bit.
Yeah,
But that's more on the defensive side. If you're attacking, you see the formation, so you should know ahead of time. Hey, I'm not going to play him here. So he's really useful, I feel like, for not only tournament, individual play, but of course, doing any guild-based stuff. I mean, basically any PvP. He is top tier in my opinion, and one that I know I've been working on him on my account for a while. He's just kind of like one of those dream characters that. I'm always chasing the newer characters like most people, but he's one of those that when I get back to it, he's top of the list to work on for sure.
yeah, definitely. Um, where would you rank him? I'm thinking more between like top tier and overall best. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I might even put him in overall best just because when one is built out, if you don't have basically flashy flash in there, I mean, he can wreck your whole lineup, and he can wreck an old world Boros. He can wreck. I mean, most lineups, he's really tough to deal with on a like equal power basis, right? Obviously, if you're super overpowering him, sure, that's anyone can blow through anyone. But if he's really built out, I mean, he can absorb so much damage, and then when he attacks, it's just nasty. So yeah, I might leave him in overall best because I think he might be. I mean, he's by far the best tank of the old world characters by far.
Right. Okay. Next we have Old World Child Emperor. So I honestly didn't get to use this character much, and I don't really even see him being loaned out that much. Kinda underrated, but I do see him being used in PvP. He seems kind of good, but like I said, I don't have much experience with this character, so I don't have much input for him. What do you think?
I love him. I was pretty early on in hopping on that train, and of course, been pretty interesting. The kind of progression between clearly going towards more shields and using more buffs for a bit, and then now, of course, more debuffs and ways to kind of get rid of that kind of stuff. So really interesting in there. I would probably say he is by far the best support character on the old world like characters up there, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
that thinking about him, he's really awesome in many situations. So I love him. I think he can be used across the board, in many different ways. He also deals quite a bit of damage, which is really nice from a support character. So I of course like to pair him usually with some really high DPS, right? So I'll pair him with Old World Boros. I'll pair him with 2023 Series. I'll pair him with Future Zombie Man. A lot of those combinations, just because you're getting that shield, you're getting that extra health, just a way to keep people alive, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta understand what you're going against, and of course, he can be super helpful in that situation. And I'm still working on getting him leveled up to a spot where I feel like he's on par. So I feel like I'm just getting to a spot where we'll see even more of his potential. So I really like him, and I'd say he is top tier support for sure.
Yeah, I would give him top tier support too. I would love to see this character more in action in PvP. Okay, so next we have Old World Pig God. So this is another character I didn't get to see much. I personally think he's just a tank. There's nothing too special about him, but like I said, I haven't even used this character much. I went for this character just because of bots, the blessing. Otherwise, I mean, I haven't really used him. I wouldn't personally use him if I'm doing type trials. There are other better Old World characters, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't really use him. What do you think?
I have him as well. I like him. Like you're saying, he's kind of tough because he isn't super tanky, which you want out of your tanks. And then he's kind of like a hybrid. He's kind of like a tank slash support because of his healing. He does a reasonable amount of damage when he actually attacks and uses his ult, right? But of course, now with the new Hellish Blizzard coming out and just different ways to lock him, I rank him kind of low. I mean, maybe if I get him up even further and complete his gear, I might change my opinion. But again, he's kind of a support character that, yeah, I mean, if you didn't get him in the first round, or for some reason you haven't done half of them or 2/3 of them already, I would probably just pass on him for right now and just kind of work on some of the other ones.
Right. I'm gonna give him decent. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, again, he's interesting. I think yeah, definitely decent. I mean, I think there's no way you can drop him below that.
All right, so next character is Old World Flashy Flashy. I've seen this character in action. He can do a shit ton of damage, so I really like him. Obviously, this is not. Haven't worked on any of these characters, except I guess I'm low key working on Old World Boros. That'll be done next year. But anyways, I think he's a good character. I've loaned him a few times. He does a lot of damage. I've seen him in PvP too when he came out, especially. He was wrecking shit. So I think he's a really great character overall. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I love him. I mean, you've probably seen some of my matches. Same thing like you're saying, PvP wise, where I was really utilizing him early on. The old kind of formation of a STT, a Summer Terrible Tornado, and Pig God kind of has come back into style. So of course, interesting that it was really popular. It sounds like back in the day, and it kind of just became popular again all of a sudden. And so, he can have trouble against a really, really, really tanky character like that. But if it's a whole bunch of kind of squishy characters or kind of mid-sized characters, he can tear through it. Like you said, like he just tears through so many things. And if you, of course, pick the right Spirit Hall skill, I mean, he can do some awesome stuff. So in my opinion, he is by far top tier damage. He's one that
Yeah.
you see him in the lineup, you don't want to see him in a lineup a lot of times
Right.
because you're just like, man, he's tough to deal with.
Yeah, 100% top tier damage. No questions for me. Okay, Old World Tonic. Yeah, I forgot to talk about him when I was talking about Old World Bros. I've actually worked on this character. I got him up to Legendary, and I think for every player out there, he's a useful character to have. I was using doing type trials, and he is so helpful for those. I've also heard he's really helpful for boss, and I actually used him for troll boss, and he nearly doubled my damage. So I also have a few guild members who've used him and say he's great. So I think he's great. You can get him to legendary and he'll be good enough. And talent 20. And he's just one of those characters that you don't need to work on too hard to get him up to a good rank. So I think legendary that's pretty easy to get. So he's a really good character for even at that rank. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He is changed up the old, of course, like you mentioned, boss formation of requiring such a high level, complete character to kind of make the formation work. So works amazing in that situation. Mine right now, I think, is like Spirit Hall level 5 or so, and I'm loving him already. I mean, he's both like PvP good, good in so many areas. So I really like him. I would probably say he is top tier damage. Still exploring all the ways to play with him on PvP and all of that, but I'm sure within the next month or so, I'll have a lot more data on just how to use that guy because he seems like he has a lot of really cool abilities. I mean, anytime you have that ability to kind of do the damage and kind of sneak in and do all that stuff, and that's like the passive skill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm usually a fan of that. It's just ways to kind of knock out some of those pesky characters that maybe are like in the back row that are supporting or whatever. Like I like that skill a lot.
Yeah, I like this character. So you were thinking top tier damage. I honestly think that he should be closer to overall best because he is good for boss, he is good for PvP too, and he is somewhat free to play friendly compared to these other guys. So what do you think? Are you stuck on top
Yeah, no,
tier?
absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. He definitely, especially because of the boss formation. I mean, I would say overall best. I mean, you should definitely have at least, like you mentioned, him to like legendary or whatever level you need to, and that's such a great way to just get around that kind of one little hump maybe that you need to just deal that extra boss damage. So yeah, absolutely. I say overall best. Go for it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, last old world character, old world Genos. So I didn't get to use this character much. I have been hearing things that he could be useful for boss, but I can't say that for a fact. I haven't used him. I feel like he's okay, but I still need to see him in action to actually be able to judge how good this character is. So, what do you have to say about him?
Yeah, I mean, mine is kind of in the same spot. He's maybe just two-thirds of the way done, so I'm not really fully sure on where he'll fit in. I've faced a few of him already that were, reasonably put together. He seems really interesting, but just yeah, not enough info yet to really gauge where he will fit on this. But hey, that's great news for everyone out there because that means there's more content to put out and more to talk about here in the future. So we'll just have to leave on the to be determined because I really have no idea right now with him. He's just so new, and again, that's one of the great things about this games is we're getting a new character every 2 weeks basically right now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I guess I can put him in. Really, we don't really have a strong opinion on him, so I guess I can put him in decent for now. Next time he'll probably be moved up, depending on how he performs. Okay, well, yeah, that's old world characters for you. All right, so we're gonna move on to the completes. I want to start from, let's say, Summer Terrible Tornado. I feel like that's a good way to go from down there. The rest, I've covered them before. They're not like extra special as compared to these characters now. They've been, as of recently, these new characters have been really good, and you're all the time you're like, whether I should go for this character or that character. You're always trying to work on the next character. So I think we should start from Summer Terrible Tornado. So I think she's great. She's a great buffer. I actually got her to +7. Just at mythical, I think she's good for, especially for boss, just for support too. I think she's a great character. I would personally give her top tier support. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean she's one that in the current meta with boss and showdown, all of it, you pretty much need her. And even if you somehow have enough battle will or your old world burrows with gear is high enough power that you can take her out of that formation in showdown, she can be utilized in so many spots. So yeah, she's definitely top tier support. She might even be, if she wasn't so soft, I could say she might be overall best. I mean, the cool thing with her, of course, is that her ability lingers even after she's been killed off. So she's really a versatile character, and I know I've utilized her with a lot of different characters. Just any high damage character, and you usually get some awesome results there. So yeah, she was by far one of my favorite characters.
All right, yeah, top tier support. That makes total sense. Okay, next we have Phantom Girl. I don't think there's much to be said about this character. He's great at +10. He changed the meta of the game. If it wasn't for life chip, I might have given him overall best, but he's a great character at +10, gives the sounds, and he's so tanky. So for me, he's definitely top tier support. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement there. I mean, the ability to silence for a round, of course, that's huge. Like you said, it changed it up because we really didn't have a way to really silence like that before him. Now, of course, it's pretty common to see him deployed in a lot of different situations. So if you can, yeah, definitely. I would say he's definitely like, yeah, one of those you have to work on. I mean, he's just another one that you almost have to have because, the way, of course, battles break out. I mean, even if someone has one, a lot of times you can like counter one with one, right? So you almost like need to have him just because of how much he is utilized in the current meta, right?
All right, so let's move on to okay, ice metal bat. I think I haven't really seen him much in action. I guess he's good for MG, like the Mosquito Girl troll boss, but I wouldn't personally say he's good for PvP. I guess if you get any character up, they can be good for PvP, but for me, he's just decent compared to especially the other old complete characters.
Yeah, I'm cool putting him decent. I'm still unsure. I just completed mine on this new character event, so I've just been utilizing him in more and more formations. I really do like his results though because of the bleed. He does seem to work really well against those super tanky characters. But yeah, I haven't had enough time with him yet to really say, hey, is he just like a must-have or whatever? If you didn't get him on the first round, I'd say for now, there's a lot of other characters you probably should be working on than him. But a really cool character to mess around with if you have him, or try to get a loan from him every once in a while because I do think he's pretty fun to play with and someone that's just interesting and does some different stuff than we've seen before in the game.
All right. Speaking of other characters, let's get into this character, 2023's Sui. I don't know how to say his name, but I think he's
I was hoping you would know how to say it because I don't know how to say it. So like, I'll just going to call him 2023 basically
yeah.
because I don't want to butcher it either.
I call him 2023 Sui. So well, there you go. I think he's great. He does a lot of damage at +10, and he's extremely tanky, and he does benefit the team. So for me, I would give him top tier damage. What do you think?
Yeah, I think exactly that. He is really great. The shielding ability is awesome. Now, of course, we're getting more debuffs, so I'm not really sure longer term how much the shielding, and of course that kind of came in sync with the old World Child Emperor. Like they were big on shields for a little bit, so I like him a lot. I've been utilizing him quite a bit. His like his ultimate does like a damage to like more than one person. I forget. I don't know exactly how it works yet. I've still been kind of messing with it, but I really like him, and I know that if you kind of end up fighting him like one on one or whatever, that's not usually a battle you want to have with most people. So I think exactly that. He is like top tier damage. He's a really cool like kind of hybrid character, if you will, between top tier damage and like top tier support almost. So he's one that ideally if you can, you kind of work on him on the sly a little bit because he is definitely worth it long term.
Right. Okay, future tech zombie man. I think he's great. I got him to +10, and he's the only reason I was able to finish story. So, I will give him overall best. The 60 rage thing, it's unique to him only. I guess old world flashy kind of has similar thing, but not really. So, I would give him overall best. He's helped me in story. I think he's great for nuking. So, yeah, generally a great character.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no denying any of that. It's maybe gotten a little bit weaker here in the last month or so, but he definitely has been part of the PvP meta for a long time. And if you set him up properly, I mean, he can definitely kind of carry a lot of times a whole team. So yeah, he is overall best. One you almost have to have, and at this point in time, you most people know that. So it's just like you almost have to have a good one. So yeah, just keep working on those on those zombie mans if you can, if you don't have them yet, because he is definitely worth it long term.
Yeah, definitely. Zombie mans, they're great. Talking about zombie man, we have another zombie man. I didn't really get to use this character much. I feel like he kind of flew under the radar. He is stronger, but when I see 2023, so I think he that character is much better. I would prioritize him over working zombie man Valentine's. But what do you think about this character?
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of put him with the like ice metal bat or so, in that he's interesting. I don't know if we've really seen his full potential unlocked. Mine just got to like fully done, I believe. So I've been utilizing him now, and like I just used him in Showdown, today, and I like the results I saw. But yeah, just I don't have enough info yet to really say if he's like really worth working on. Of course, I just happen to like chase the new characters and then build them out. So so it's easier for me to talk a little bit about the newest characters. If you ask me about some of the older completes, I know nothing about it, which is always tough. But yeah, in his case, I like what I see. Definitely the stun ability is really cool. Anytime you can stun people, that can be super helpful for a round, right? I mean, that can really change the whole battle around. So I like what I see, but yeah, I need to get him up there a little bit to really test him out, and then we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'll give him decent for now. Maybe he'll move up. Kind of similar situation to Old World Genos. Okay, next we have the last for I guess this session. So we have Exotic Hellish Blizzard. I'm working on this character. I think her abilities are totally cracked, especially at +10. The 100% rage reduction is great. So I'm definitely gonna work on her, get her to +10, maybe next month sometime. But I think she's a good character, and she's gonna change PvP significantly in my opinion. So what do you think about her?
Yeah. Most people are saying exactly that, and I've already seen through like Showdown and just like I've been watching battles here and there, and yeah, you already see that she's changing a whole match around. So she definitely seems like top tier, possibly overall best. I mean, or just yeah, she seems like she's gonna be pretty nasty because yeah, she just overall her skill set. Anytime you have rage reduction, right? I mean, that's just one of those where anything to do with rage, I feel like, is just so key in the game. Whether it's giving rage or taking away rage or locking rage or whatever, that's super key because it's one of those difficult elements you have to consider, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she definitely goes into like right now, even though it's early on, you know, she might end up being overall best because, like you said,
Yeah.
her overall skill set just might be so unique and kind of almost like so broken that it's like you like have to get her right now. Is kind of the situation you're in.
Yeah, that's true. And this is fun fact. This is the only complete that I've gone for as soon as they were introduced. So I think she's gonna be great personally. Um, yeah. Well, this is it. So obviously I'll record this part later, the other completes and whatever. But anyways, thank you so much, Sancheezy, for joining me. I personally had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate this. It was awesome. You know, you're awesome. Thanks for making all the content you do, and of course, man, make sure everyone's be subscribing to you because you're great for doing all of this, man. So I appreciate you, and yeah, man, just keep doing all of it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining, and yeah, hopefully we'll get to see more of you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, everyone have a good one, man. Take care and keep on punching away.
Alright, so I'm gonna continue with the tier list. Starting off with Boros. He's pretty outdated, honestly. I wouldn't even put him in PvP anymore. I know in the first tier list I put him in overall best, but considering now the power systems, I wouldn't put him in PvP heavy. But regardless, I get it, he's not a bad character, so I still would give him decent, to be honest. I actually do need to put these characters a little bit closer so I can fit everyone in. Let's see. Okay, that looks about right. And Watchdog Man. Okay, yeah, same thing goes for him. He's just one of those old characters, not really relevant anymore. I guess you could use him for story, but you do need to get him at least +7, and obviously you're gonna need Spirit Hall. So I wouldn't go for him personally. Considering how many options there are nowadays. So yeah, he's still a good character, I guess, but considering how old he is, he really didn't hold up well. So yeah, I would give him decent as well. Okay. Zombie Man. Okay, this character is great. He is one of those old characters, but still he has held up well. I don't really see him in PvP that much anymore. I see him in PvP, but not as much as before. But regardless, he's still good if you get his limit breaker up. Even at +1, he's really +1. He's really useful. With his reflect damage is really useful. So if you can get him +1, get him a few stars on him, he'll be nice to have. Yeah, I would definitely give him top tier tank though. He's a useful character. I think everyone should have one copy of him at least. Okay, Carnage, Kabuto. Okay, so last time Sinjo commented about how good this character is, and that's the way you should be conveying your argument to me about what you feel about a character. So I did check him out. I do get what he meant. So I will give him top tier tank, but do know that you do need to get this character up, though. He's not gonna do it for you at just 5-star mythical with no limit breaker. With most of the characters nowadays, they're just like that. So of course he can eat old world Boros ults as well, depending how strong he is. So yeah, definitely a top tier tank. And yes, the same goes for him. He's not really used as much before in PvP as before in PvP, but you know he's still a good character. I would give him top tier tank now for sure. Goketsu, yeah, he used to be real when he first came out. He used to be a lot used in PvP, and even story. He's good for that even now, but you do need him to get him +7 at least, and you get the control immunity at +10, and that can be countered by flashy. So, I don't know. PvP heavy seems kind of not right, considering I have Valentine's Zombie Man over there too in the decent. So, yeah, even if you do get him +10, honestly, he's not gonna be that great nowadays. Maybe in the older days he would have been good. Actually, he would have been good in the older days, but nowadays he doesn't really hold up, honestly. Okay, so next up we have him. Same thing goes for this guy. Forgot about him. Easter Sonic, right? Yeah, I would say he's good. I'll give him situational for sure. Not really used in PvP anymore, but I still have one copy of him. I did definitely use him for story. He's good for that, just to stun back rows. So if you want to get a free stun on your enemy in the round 0, then yeah, he's useful. I don't think it's guaranteed. Yeah, it's definitely not guaranteed if you have one copy, but it's still useful to have because it's a complete, so the synergy is going to be great with them anyways. Awakened Vaccine Man, yeah, same thing as a lot of these characters, because they're old, they really haven't held up well. So Awakened Vaccine Man, not really, no, not PvP. I guess he's kind of tanky, so I'll give him tank, but yeah, he's definitely not the first character I would go for if I wanted to build a complete tank. Valentine's MMS, yeah, he's great. I did use him for story as well. Still used in PvP, especially with the infamous Pig God and MMS team. So Valentine's MMS, he's great. And you don't need to even get his limit breakers. It's good to have, but you don't need it per se. So definitely I'll give him PvP heavy. That's an easy one. Atomic Samurai, he's a fun character to use. Do you need him? No, not at all. I actually forgot. I think it was, yeah, Clever Girl and Jo. Those two guys really love this character. But you know, he definitely is fun to use, but it's not really relevant nowadays. So I'll give him decent, honestly. And I guess it can be useful to have one copy if you're trying to reduce someone's rage recovery, but honestly, there are better options. Like you can just stun that enemy with Easter Supersonic. Okay, Peg God, yeah, he's great. Definitely a great tank. If you want to get your first complete tank, I would highly recommend him. Obviously, do go for the +10. Don't cheap out. If you want to build a proper tank, get all the bonuses and attributes you can. So yeah, he's definitely used in PvP, but he's also a great tank. I would go I would go for Pig God over Awakened Vaccine Man any day. King has to be the king. I mean, come on, this character is still relevant. He's in fact, this character is the only character that you still use for Guild War boss. Over the time, the other characters, say for example, what's his name, Anniversary Genos, Death Gatling, even Xmas Child Emperor 2, those characters have been kind of replaced. There's a new meta for boss now, but even still, King holds up really well, so definitely overall best for him. Extreme Trial story, he's useful for that too. Only place I guess you can say he's lacking is obviously PvP, but I mean, come on, out of PvP he has so many uses. Definitely overall best. Garo. Okay, so this character was actually tweaked, so he can basically do more damage now. And I I don't know if you well, you do unlock an ability at +10, which makes him insane, but I don't know if he's good enough at +7 though. So if you do get him +10, he is amazing, even if you have low spirit on him. I know it's hard to get a complete +10, but you can slowly work on him through the tournament shop. So he's actually pretty great. Um, Top tier damage, not really, but PvP heavy, sure. I don't really see him much in PvP, but he definitely is, in my opinion. He has the defense, the annoying stuns, and he does have the attack to back it up as well. Okay, X-Men's Terrible Tornado is terrible. I mean, there's a lot of better limited completes that you can go for, so I would just skip over her, honestly. Let's just put her. Let's just give her decent, honestly. Or even situational. I've seen one person use her for what's her name? Mosquito Girl Boss. Somehow makes it work at elite. So you know who you are. I'm gonna give her situational. Okay, whenever I see this character, I think of Sinjo because he's the only one who I remember who first built this character properly. I mean, she's amazing at +10. I think she can definitely be countered by Flashy now though. But if he's not in a team, she is still great. I would give her PvP heavy, but she does do a lot of damage as well, so keep that in mind. Yeah, PvP heavy for her. Oh, this there were so many. There's such high hopes for Awakened Boros, but he ended up being a huge disappointment. Yeah, even if you get him at +10, he's not gonna be good. Sorry, bot god. Sorry, everyone who likes him. But yeah, this character is just not good in any way or shape or form. Gero, okay. Yeah, this character has been overlooked, and for the right reasons. I mean, he's not great. He is a support character, but he doesn't really do much for you anyways, even if you get his limit breaker up. So I wouldn't waste my time with him. Honestly, I would just give him bad overall, just so he can be happy with Awakened Boros. So we're there. Flashy, yeah, he's great. I'm almost tempted to give him overall best because he can counter the Undying ability. But yeah, I mean, PvP heavy seems appropriate too. Overall best, I'm still kind of debating on it, but for now I will give him overall best simply because even if you have one of his copy, he is great. Because of his recent buff, he can kill literally any Undying character. So actually there is one exception, but I forgot who that is. If I remember, I'll mention that. But yeah, he can kill Metal Bat, any Unyielding, any of that shield that Goketsu gets, for example. He can even kill Bloodthirsty Garo. So yeah, there you go. Suryu, he is definitely a damage dealer. Would I prioritize him right now? No, but I mean, if you don't have any non-limited completes to work on, you can't really go wrong with this character. So I'll give him top tier damage along with his other friend over here. 2023, sweet. Okay, Bloodthirsty Garo, definitely overall best still. If you don't have Flashy in another team, yeah. But anyways, he'll definitely get this. He really did help me. Bloodthirsty Garo really helped me finish story, carried my teams, especially the last two chapters. I just built my own, and he was great for it. I mean, he just carries. So, definitely overall best for him. Anniversary Genos. This character kind of fell off, especially considering now that you have Old World Sonic. He's not bad by any means, but a little bit outdated now, though. But you can definitely still use him for boss. So, he's not really support considering he just debuffs. So, I guess top tier damage would make a little bit of sense, but. He's above decent though, in my opinion. So I guess for now I'll give him top tier damage. He does decent amount of single hit target damage. let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna put him over here. Okay, so this side of top tier support means that they're good for debuffing, essentially. So I'm gonna put slash debuff maybe later. Actually, probably not, because I know it's too late. But this right side of the top tier support means they're good for debuffing, essentially. Okay, Phantom, Phantom Metal Bat. Oh, hold up! I just blew my candle. Let me light it up again. Okay, let's continue. Okay, Phantom Metal Bat. Yeah, this character is kind of outdated now. I know Kemi loves this character, but you know, he does a lot of damage though, anyways. So yeah, top tier damage, sure, but you do need to definitely work on his limit breaker. Get him +7 at least, and he can definitely be one-shotted as well. So technically, he does have good damage, even though he doesn't have the defense or HP to make up for it. He does do a good amount of damage actually. Okay, Summer Hellish Blizzard. Yeah, she's support, but she's not a great support in my opinion. There's a lot of other characters that you can go for in terms of support, especially Summer Terrible Tornado. So, but she does give your allies a little buff, so I guess situational. That'll be more appropriate for her. Autumn Mosquito Girl. I love this character. Really, I use her every single day. Overall best seems kind of not appropriate considering that she's only useful for one ability. So yeah, she's great support. You can get the 30 rage per kill time with her at talent 30 legendary, which is pretty easy nowadays. So definitely go for her if you haven't already. Yeah, she's great. Hellflame Fire. This character is awful. Even if he's paired with his brother Gilwind, he's still not really good. So I would just give him decent. Okay, I'm actually pretty concerned over here. My candle blew again. Hold up. Ouch. You know what? It's okay. I guess I won't light it up. Well, yeah, let's just continue anyways. Sorry for that. Gilwind, yeah, he's outdated now. But no, I guess he can. No, there's a lot of damage dealers nowadays, so you know it's not really good nowadays, anyways. Oh man, I kind of burnt my hand. Okay, Xmas Bang. Yeah, no. There's a lot of other completes that you should be working on than him. So situational, no, he's actually kind of decent. He does a lot of damage, but you do need to get him up. You know what? Fine. If you do get him +7, he can be a top tier damage dealer, but who would want to work on him anyways? Same goes for Watchdog, man. Don't work on these two characters just because I put them in top tier damage. It's just true. If you get them up properly, they can do top tier damage, but that's really all they have going for them. Damage, nothing else. Bakazan, yeah. No, he's honestly just bad. Nowadays, just bad. Okay, Valentine's Terrible Tornado. This is one of those characters that I didn't really get to test much, but is extremely annoying in Hero versus Villain. I suppose if you do get her +10, she'll be great, but there's a lot of other completes. I've been saying this, but there are a lot of completes that you should rather be working on than her. But yeah, I suppose if you do get her +10, she'll be great. So yeah, top tier damage. She would definitely do damage. I mean, her chocolate ability is extremely annoying, but yeah, top tier damage if you do get her +10. That's the only catch with these 5 characters over here actually. Okay, Actually, all of them, if I'm being fair. Valentine's flashy. Yeah, he's great. Um, yeah, he can. If even if you have one copy, he can just eat the nuke and die. So that can really save your ass sometimes. I guess I would give him PvP heavy. Honestly, that seems appropriate for him. You can make good use of it in PvP, even in story mode sometimes. Exotic Pig King, right? That's the one. Yeah, he's tanky, but not tanky than the original Pig God. More tanky than the original Pig God. So he's decent. I mean, honestly, yeah, he is tanky if you do get him up, but I wouldn't prioritize this character for sure. Drive Knight, yeah, he's that kind of damage, the debuff kind of damage dealer. Um, Not really used at all in anything nowadays, but I guess if you want to have a fun character, you can go for him. But I wouldn't recommend working on this character, especially now that there's so many options. So I'm gonna put him next to, oh wait, anniversary Genos. Yeah, the Easter Goketsu didn't really. I have never seen anyone with this character, never. So I have no idea how this character works. And given that no one has ever gone for this character, I'm assuming there's good reasons for it. So I'm just gonna give it bad overall. This character looks bad, and it's probably bad too. So don't go for him. Um, Atomic Samurai. Okay, this is the spring version. He boosts your damage, and I did use him for some story teams. He is actually useful for boosting your damage. So, just for that alone, I'll give him top tier support. Boosts the damage even at elite, and that's great. Genos 2.0. This character was actually a bit of a disappointment. Given once the percentages for his debuffs and other stuff was released. But yeah, he doesn't really hold up nowadays. I wouldn't work on him, but since he does have that debuff thing going for him, I guess I'll give him the right side of top tier support. Okay, Music King, he's actually great. He's still used in PvP, and I mean he's not even that old, anyways. But yeah, he's definitely a great character. Obviously, if you do want to work on him, get him +7. Otherwise, don't go for this character. Okay, top tier support, and we're almost done with completes. Actually, one last guy left, and yeah, you need like some fire team to actually get him to work. Anniversary Garo. If you have a fire team and you do have him at a high rank, then yeah, he'll do damage, but otherwise, he's not gonna do much for you at all. So I'll give him situational because you do need a burn team for him to actually work. Fukago, yeah, this character is ass. Bad overall for sure. Someone, I know who they are. I'm not gonna tell who it is. Not gonna call them out, but they actually told a new player to go for him. And yeah, please don't go for him. He's awful. Genos, OG Genos, he's great. I love this character, honestly. As much as I used to hate him when it didn't have his limit breaker because I didn't get the buffs on the right character, now that I have him +10, he's actually just great. He doesn't do anything too special, but giving 10 rage to everyone and a damage buff honestly is good enough for me, especially for a character that's an OG character. So yeah, definitely top tier support. Child Emperor, he's great, definitely a top 5 boss character now. With his +7, and I got him +7 a pretty long time ago, so definitely get him +7 even if your focus is on boss. That 20 rate steal is actually really useful, so get him +7. I promise you won't regret it, but even if you don't, it's just good enough at talent 30. Armored Gorilla, yeah, not even a tank. This guy is so fragile. I'll give him bad overall. Metal Knight, yeah, he can do damage, but honestly, ever since Death Gatling released, I have never even touched this character. So, but if you do have a burn team, he will work for you. So there's that. So yeah, I'll give him situational. That seems okay enough. Dr. Genos, yeah, this guy is bad too. He just gives one small little buff and yeah, he dies afterwards. Blue Fire, this character is awful too. Actually, let me give some fodders out. Yeah, this guy's fodder too, actually. Both are fodder. Fukago's fodder too, of course. Armored Gorilla, I can definitely see a use for him actually. He does his stun, which I've used sometimes to my advantage, so actually I will give him situational. That seems more appropriate. D4, he's the GOAT. Get him plus 10. Plus 7 is good, great too. Essentially, the deal with him is that when you get him plus 7, he can keep up with the other characters, but if you get him plus 10, that's even better because of his 50 rage. So definitely do get him up to plus 10 if you can, but plus 7 is necessary with him nowadays. Okay, Xmas Child Emperor. He's still a good character. I mean, he's definitely not top 5 anymore, but a lot of people, including me, use him for boss damage. So yeah, he's good at debuffing and doing damage, so I'll give him the right side of top tier support. But he does have a good amount of damage going for him too. Magic Man, sorry said, but yeah, he's definitely situational. Nothing too special about him. He can reduce the rage, which can be useful sometimes, so Magic Man goes to situational. Michael Plasma, she's great, does a lot of damage, and she's good for debuffing too, but let's see, her not debuff, but paralyze is actually really useful. But still, she does damage as well, so I guess top tier damage would make sense as well. But she can be good for top tier support right side and then top tier damage as well. Support too, actually, considering that she does help the other characters crit. Okay, Summer Zombie Man, he's great. I used him for story to eat some ults, but you do keep in mind that if you want to get the first unyielding, you need him plus 7, and then after, if you want to get the second unyielding, you need him plus 10. So yeah, there is that caveat with him, but I would give him tank, to be honest. Like, he does damage as well, but he can tank some attacks, which is great. Death Gatling, yeah, he does a lot of damage, and his talent 30 is extremely useful. You do need him plus 7 though to get rid of that stun. So yeah, top tier damage, that makes sense. Phantom Fukago, don't go for this character, please, for the love of God. Fodder for sure. Wildhorn, right? I always forget about this character. Yeah, he's really tanky, but he's not really that tanky anyways. And why would you want a 4 type tank, other than obviously Carnage, but I'll get to him later. But why would you want a 4 type tank that has a clear weakness when you can just go for completes? So I know he'll be easier to work on, but you might as well build a proper tank. Situational, that decent, to be honest. Decent would make more sense if you want a decent tank. How about that? I'll put it like that. Okay, so we're done with high-tech characters. Moving on to physical characters. These characters are honestly, for the most part, they're pretty boring. Bang, he's decent, I guess. He's one of those characters that you'll probably be using for physical trials. Puri, he's decent too. Nothing too special about these two. Ami Mask, I guess his healing can be useful, but I wouldn't put him in my top 5 physical trial team anyways, unless I need some healing. So yeah, situational, there you are. Alloy, he's decent. Support, yeah, no, he's I would give him decent. He is useful for physical trials for sure, but out of that, I wouldn't use him anywhere really. Tank tops, man, I don't know. He's tanky, yes, but not a top tier tank. Yeah, situational. I'll put him down here. How long am I mask? Carnage Kabuto. Now this is a proper tank. If you get him to plus 10, especially, he just eats attacks and keeps on healing, and it's extremely annoying. So yeah, he's actually great. I'm actually debating on whether I should get this guy to plus 10 or get my regular Garo to plus 7. Well, I guess we'll see about that later. Okay, Lightning Max. This character, if you get him plus 7, now bear with me here. If you do get him plus 7, he'll start off with 20 rage, and when he attacks, you can ult right away, basically, and that allows you to recover rage, 40 rage per kill. And if the target is marked, you can do more damage to them. So if you get him plus 7, he's top tier support, kinda. But otherwise, he'll be a bad character. So I'm gonna give him situational. I have like 3 laser chips, so I don't really need his plus 7 anyways. So yeah, situational, that be appropriate for him. Beast King, this character is dog shit. Deep Sea King, he holds up okay, I guess. I mean, I would use him for physical trials for sure, but yeah, nothing else. Give him decent. Yeah, his stun can be useful, so situational. There you go. Bomb, he can be used for physical trials as well. All of the physical characters are just for physical trials only. Let me make that clear. You're never gonna use any of these characters out of physical trials. So yeah, there's that. Except for obviously Carnage Cow, so he's great. I know Monso will punish me if I put this character somewhere else. Okay, anyways, Bomb. If you work on his limit breaker, he can be good, but who would want to work on his limit breaker just for physical trials anyways? So yeah, situational. If you do get him up, he'll do a lot of damage, but otherwise, yeah, not a great character. Yeah, this character is fodder as well. I do not want to talk about him. He was great when he was released, and only 2 weeks later he was nerfed extremely. So yeah, some people wasted a lot of money on him. But anyways, Rhino Wrestler, yeah, he's tanky, but the same argument for Wildhorn. Why would you want to build a fort type tank? Other than the fact that it'll be way cheaper. But yeah, I'll give him decent along with Wildhorn. Why not? There you are. I hope Surbum is not too mad with me. Okay, regular Ring. Yeah, she's good. Top tier damage would be kind of pushing it though. But if there was a category in terms of damages below top tier damage, you'll definitely go there. Yeah, I really like this character for physical trials. But and yeah, she is good for that. Definitely, I'll give her a decent. Summer Sonic. Yeah, there are a few people that I know who actually went for him, but they have claimed he is nothing special. So yeah, for a character to be limited, a physical limited character, and still not be anything to write home about, I mean, that's just disappointing. So I'll give him situation. No, not even situational. He's just a bad character. Don't waste your resources on him. And he's only getting bad overall because he's a limited character. If he wasn't limited, I would give him decent, at least. Okay, we have Valentine's Ring. Yeah, she kind of flew under the radar too. I didn't get to use her. She's similar to Valentine's Lily, but still, she's nothing too special anyways. Considering how much RNG would be involved with her. Involved with her. So yeah, she's decent, but not someone I would prioritize anyways. Terrible Tornado, overall best. I mean, for sure, you're gonna need this character everywhere. Tournament, story, physical trials, psychic trials, everything. Well, not Guild War boss and that kind of stuff, but she's actually great. So overall best, it's appropriate for her. Vaccine Man, I'm sorry, Wins, but this character is fodder. No matter how much you work on him, he'll always be fodder. Melzigard, he's actually great. Surprisingly, I don't really see him much in PvP, but he's still a great character. And Flashy can also counter him, by the way. So, yeah, there is that. So yeah, but still he is a tank. You don't need to get him +7, but he is great at +7 because of that 50 rage thing, and you can make him further more tankier if you get him to +10. Mosquito Girl, she's fodder. Nothing, nothing that you do will make her better. Um, Geishu, but I've never really liked this character. I mean, he just makes the situation worse once he gets his turn. Just gives a random enemy 10 rage, and that just fucks up your whole strategy. So yeah, he's just bad. Um, but I do see myself using him sometimes, like sometimes. But yeah, just for the DR buff. But yeah, he's not really useful. If you are using him, make sure he dies before he gets his turn. And yeah, there's not much to say about him. Um, Hellish Blizzard, yeah, situational. I've used her sometimes for psychic trials, but she's nothing um, too special or out of the ordinary. So yeah, she's situational. Combo Infinity, this character is fodder as well. She can be situational if you're trying to stun like a whole entire row, but besides that, she's not really that good. I actually don't have many characters in Battle Royale, so I'll give her Battle Royale. Her stun can be useful, but my situational category is actually filling up over here. So, yeah, I've never really liked her. Sky King is actually surprisingly amazing. Top tier damage because of his limit breaker. Do get him +10. Or at least +7, but +10, you need that in my opinion if you do want to use him effectively. He can be used for Guild War boss, story as well. I never really used him for story, I'll be honest, but he can definitely be used for it, and also Guild War boss. So top tier damage for sure. The poor man's Ouroboros, as they say. Glory Bass, he's useful. His rage reduction is actually great, but yeah, not. He's more like. Uh, I'll give him the debuff side of top tier sport, which basically means he's good at debuffing. Awakened Mosquito Girl, yeah, she has not held up well over the few months, or I guess couple of months, or maybe even years. I don't know how long this character came out, but yeah, not really relevant anymore at all. Okay, now you have Xmas, Hellish Blizzard. She's great. I used her for Psychic Trials, story as well. Great character for sure. Gonna give it this. You don't need even lean her limit breaker. I mean, she's good at +3, I believe, where she gets 10 rage. But yeah, you don't need the limit breaker. She's just there to buff your nuker. Spring Kernel. Oh God, Spring Kernel. Spring. Why can't I say his name? Spring Sky King is awful. Don't go for him. Same goes for him. This guy is awful as well. I don't even know how to say his name. Chose, yeah, do not choose Chose. He's fodder as well. Nothing special about him. Phoenix Man, he's situational. I used him sometimes to tank an Atomic Samurai attack. So yeah, he is more situational, but not good at all. Just keep one copy in handy, and that's good enough. Exotic Sub King, you do need him +7, but he is great. Top tier support for sure. It's essentially like Genos at +7, and he does give that lifesteal, which is really useful. Okay, moving on to weapon characters. Metal Bat, definitely a top tier tank for me. I used him alongside Bloodthirsty Garo. Because he can tank, and then when he does attack, there's a chance that the Bloodthirsty Garo will follow up as well. So yeah, he's really good. Definitely, I would go for this character if you don't have any of his copies. Spring Mustachio, yeah, this character is just bad. I mean, if you're going against this character, and I've always said this, but I feel like this character is a little bit too broken when the AI is using this character. So yeah, bad overall. It does not want to go to bad overall, but yeah, bad overall. Don't work on him. Don't even consider him. Golden Ball, he is great. I have been using this character for ever in story. I believe ever since 2 teams. So yeah, go for this character for sure. I would say work on him at least till +6. Mine is +8, and I think that's good enough. So yeah, he's a great character. He's gonna be part of one of your teams in story for sure. Regular Sonic, he can do good amount of damage if you get him +10, but I wouldn't personally go for this character. I don't really see much use for him nowadays, anyways. So he's actually decent. Nothing to write home about though. Yeah, this character is fodder. Sorry, Reese. This character sucks. Okay, so next up we have Subterranean King. He's just a bad character. I mean, yeah, not really useful for anything except his ult, and when he does ult, he has a chance of stunning some enemies. But what are the chances of this fodder character actually getting his ult anyways? Smile Man, I wouldn't use him for anything actually, so fodder or a bad overall for sure. Stinger, yeah, like if I'm trying to hit an enemy in the back row, I guess I'll use him, but even then he's not gonna do any damage anyways, so yeah, he's bad as well. Pluton, he's not too bad. I use him sometimes. He's definitely not top tier support, but he can be useful at times. So situational. Okamatachi, yeah, she does a good amount of damage. Not top tier damage worthy though, but yeah, I'll give her decent. She can do a good amount of damage, and you don't need her limit breaker if you don't want to go for him. Lightning Genji, yeah, this character you do need to get the limit breaker up, and even then he's only really going to be useful for weapon trials anyways, so that's a bad character. Bushido, I'm sorry Tar, but this character is not good. I'll give him bad overall though, not fodder, just because I know someone likes this character. I mean, actually let's just give him fodder anyways. This is not really good at all. Okay, Super S, yeah, ever since she got that buff, she's been really annoying. Like if you make a suicide team, she'll be great, but yeah, I would give her any above these 4 tiers, because she can be useful. Yeah, let's just give her the debuffer kind of role, even though that's not what she does. I guess she does reduce the rage for a row, or no, rather a column. But yeah, I guess I'll give her. It doesn't really feel appropriate, honestly. But if you do get her +7, then you can put her up in here. Otherwise, she's just decent. Easter Golden Ball, this character is bad. Don't go for him. Martial Gorilla is also bad fodder. Blue Fire Depressed Guitarist dude, he's bad as well. Never really held up well, especially after that nerf that he got. Valentine's Lily, I'm hesitant to give her top tier damage, but I do see a lot of people doing a lot of damage that are in the Guild War boss area. So I wouldn't use her for Guild War boss at all, nor would I recommend using her. But I suppose you can do a lot of damage with her anyways, so I'll give her that. I'll let that slide. It's Xmas Moomin Rider. He's actually great. I did use him for weapon trials with laser chip to buff my golden ball. So yeah, he's really good, useful. Definitely top tier support. Easter Super S. I never really got to use her much, but I don't think she's any special anyways. So decent. Okay, the rest of these characters, yeah, these 3 are fodder. That's what you're gonna be using them for, fodder, nothing else. These 3 characters are fodder as well, these physical characters. We just put them there. And now this one is fodder to Sky King's Son. Fodder. I guess Slug is useful, but if you're a high level player like me, you're never gonna use him anyways. But if you're starting out, He's decent. Sorry about that. Situational, yeah. Uh, Not really situational, but let's see. He's not top tier support for sure. Both of these characters, so I'll give them situational because they're still useful for noobs, anyways. Um, Grand Dragon is fodder, and these two characters are fodder as well. Okay, great. So that finishes the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This took some time to make. Yeah, that's the tier list. So, as I've said before, this is based on my opinion, my usage of these characters, and that's why they are where they are. So, and also, yeah, of course, thank you to Sancheezy for joining in on a short notice, especially. His help was really useful for ranking the old world characters and the newer completes. So again, thank you to him. It's been an honor having him on the channel, and yeah, thank you for watching.